Ladies and gents, I'm Papa Smoke, also known as Ed Morrow, and on today's video, I'm going to come to you and speak to you about some basic necromancy in voodoo. Okay, so necromancy is a type of magic where we work with the dead. Necromancy is not just done in voodoo, but it is quite prevalent in voodoo. However, it's not exclusive to voodoo. So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about zombie. And the reason we're going to talk about zombies is because they've become quite popular again. I don't mean like Walking Dead zombies. I mean as in spiritual zombies. So I've had a couple of clients come to me for quotes for Zonbi Bottles. And I've had a couple of clients come to me for work involving zombies and vampy. So there are two different kinds of contracted spirits from the dead that we work with. There's the zombie, which is the spirit of a regular dead person. It can be any nature of dead person, and depending on the actual intention for the work, depends on what sort of person you'd get. For example, if you were working with the zombie to attract money into your life, you might work with a dead business tycoon. Yeah, if you were working with a zombie for protection, such as a Zonbi bottle, which we'll cover in a minute, you may work with a dead soldier. Yeah, because people generally take through their energies, experiences, and things into death with them when they die. They're exactly who they are when they were alive when they die. So they're the regular ones. Yeah. Now these can be quite painful. They can be quite painful. They're humans. They've got human emotions. So some of them are quick to anger, some of them are chilled out. There is also a vampy. Now vampy are malevolent dead, yeah. So when we do a process called envoy more, which means to send a dead, envoy more. Usually, if it's done for a baneful process, if you envoy more, so if you send the dead for a baneful process, usually it'll be a vampy that you send. In some instances as well for Zonbi bottles, vampy can be worked with. However, what you've got to understand about the vampy is different to the zombie. Zombie's contracted to work and is rational and sane, yeah, and not as malevolent. Whereas a vampy is either insane, completely evil, and viciously malevolent, and will just attack. You can get some vampy that you can do a deal with that won't just attack, and that are capable of sitting in a Zonbi bottle in your household, and capable of protecting you without causing you any harm. But they're few and far between, which is why a lot of times people use zombie in Zonbi bottles. Okay, so zombie and vampy, very similar, like I said. Spirits of humans, one's regular, one's insane. Yeah, one's malevolent, one's benevolent, or one can be benevolent, one can be benevolent or malevolent, and one of them is just malevolent. So zombies can either be good or bad, you know, nice or nasty, whereas vampirs are always going to give you hell. Yeah, always going to give you hell. There's a special process in how we summon these, shall we say, how we open the way and get them to come through, yeah? Again, you can work with deaf deities to do this. You need a deity that's sort of like Baron Samedi magnitude, because you need someone that's like a psychopomp. So like Baron Samedi, or in fact, one of the most effective guide laws to actually work with for this process, in fact, yeah, is Papa Guide. Papa Guide is really good to work with when it's involving taking the spirits of dead things and putting them in bottles, or taking spirits of dead things and putting them in something or in someone. Papa Guide also does the reverse, by the way, so he doesn't just put the spirit in, he can snatch it out. It's called soul snatching. We'll cover that in another video when we discuss dark works later on. The zombie itself is quite strong. It's one of the most strongest works out there is the Zonbi bottle. It's one of the most strongest protection works out there. What we do is we take a glass bottle, we wrap it in black velvet, yeah, and then we stick little mirror, like reflective like a little reflective card. Usually black, although you can use silver, like, you know, like disco ball kind of. And you stick them all over it, because what happens is the black velvet, black velvet acts as a spiritual barrier and keeps the spirit inside the bottle, The mirroring on it reflects whatever energy is sent to you. Whatever negative, baneful energy is sent to you, the mirror parts will reflect it. Now, under the black velvet, so stuck to the bottle under the black velvet, you put cut-throat razor blade as well. That's the zombie's weapon. That's the zombie's weapon. And there are some things that we put in the bottle as well. So we will use graveyard dirt obtained from the grave of the person we're trying to use, or trying to work with. Sorry, should I say don't use? That's disrespectful. We use human bone. Now, you can use human bone either directly from the body of the person who you are wanting to work with, or because the human bone in this instance is just a medium, you can use any sort of human bone whatsoever. The graveyard dirt's the important thing, That's the essence of the person, The human bone is just a medium in this stage, However, if the person who the bone belongs to is the person you're intending to work with, again, that can be used to link the spirit to it as well. And there are other certain oils and things that we prepare and that we place inside the bottle as well. A lot of these, I'm not going to go over the making of them and stuff like that. I don't want people to screw themselves up trying to do this stuff. So what happens is, once you've constructed the bottle, you put it on the altar, and you get the psychopomp, so like Bagon Samedi or Papa Gide, to go into the world of the dead and take the person's spirit, who's linked to the graveyard dirt, Take the person's spirit and put it in the bottle, Once that zombie is in the bottle, a contract's done, so you do a contract with it basically to protect you, in which you have to feed it. So don't keep it waiting any longer than 2 weeks, but don't feed it on a daily, or I'll expect it daily as well, but you should feed it a minimum of 3 drops of rum. If you can't get rum, or you're a recovering alcoholic or whatever, 3 drops of water, you basically have to feed it. And what this does is it allows the spirit to stay empowered, it allows it to have energy, and it also stays loyal to you then. If you don't feed it, and it starts to degrade, because its energy will start to spiritually degrade after a 2-week period if you do not feed it. What it will do then is start to attack you, because it'll be peed off. You brought it into this world, you're supposed to be looking after it, you're supposed to be working with it, and all it's doing is protecting you and being starved, So you do need to feed them. Anyways, once you've got your bottle prepared and the zombies in the bottle, how this works then is it's done on order of magnitude. So let's say I've got a zombie bottle on me, and I don't know, someone in Australia doesn't like me and starts talking smack about me, right? Either the person that they're speaking to will become angry with them all of a sudden for repeatedly bringing up the topic, or something minor will happen to them to basically shut them up and, a little punishment, If that person, instead of just talking smack about me now, is conspiring to cause me harm, the zombie will get a little angrier. So something worse will happen, and it'll affect everyone who's part of that conversation. So if 2 blokes are like, let's throw Ed in a van and beat shit out of him, both those blokes are going to get punished. Again, if someone does something physical to you, it will harm them. It will harm them horribly. What I mean by order of magnitude as well is it is proportionate onto what harm they're causing you, but it always causes you more harm it always causes them more harm than they meant to cause you. If someone tries to kill you, it might take their life. They don't mess about. Zombies are very baneful. They like to play with wheel nuts on cars and things like that. The blade that you put in under the velvet, it astrally takes that blade out, and slices the death out of you when you upset it with it. This causes all sorts of horrible things to happen in your microcosm, Zombie bottles themselves have been around an extremely long time. They're from Haitian voodoo. Now, I put a post up yesterday where I've got a potential client for a zombie bottle. That's a pretty decent paid job. You'll see a man Dimitri, commenting on there saying, but I channeled the recipe for the zombie bottle for you. No, you didn't, Dimitri. What happened is back in about 2017, zombie bottles were really popular. It might have been 2016. Zombie bottles were really, really popular. I was selling like one a week. Yeah, and I always used to put pictures of them on my Facebook. Yeah, this is back when Dimitri was working with me. Yeah. So what he did is he said, I want to combine your zombie bottle with a Slavic wolf spirit to see if it works. He didn't channel anything. This was an experiment. You see, he claims to have got all this gnosis and channelings from all these divine sources, and he didn't at all. Most of his works plagiarized or stolen from other people. He goes around the occult looking for basically popular topics, and then he'll put his own spin on it. Or he'll directly rip someone else's work off, change it a little bit, and then claim it as channeled. Yeah, he didn't channel it. So I used to sell these quite a lot. I used to sell them like I said, one a week. Yeah, one a week. But easy one a week. Yeah. And he saw this and he saw that they were getting sales, and he wasn't getting many sales through my platform because he just let one of my customers down. One of the works didn't manifest, and I just had to give her a refund. And I didn't realise at the time that he was sexually harassing the clients as well, which is why he didn't get any work. So anyways, to make him popular, he wanted to do a Slavic meets Papa Smoke like project where we took wet wolf's teeth, yeah, instead of human bone, and used that as the medium in the bottle. And we did use a form of grave dirt. You see, this wolf spirit is almost like a werewolf type thing. It's half lupine, half human. So it's the same premise, yeah, where this spirit will protect you. Yeah, so it will just attack anyone who conspires against you, who's talking against you, or who moves against you. Yeah. But he didn't channel it, right? The wolf's teeth and everything like that, he bought and paid for. I completed the work and sold it, and I did not pay him because the person I sold it to was one of the people he was sexually harassing. They bought it for protection against him. And because I fired him due to sexual harassment, I didn't pay him. And, you know, took me to court, fuck you. So yeah, he didn't channel the zombie bottle, yeah. Zombie bottles have been around hundreds of years. They've been around since before my granddad, yeah. He didn't channel zombie bottles. I was taught how to do zombie bottles by Mama Midnight, yeah, right. And in fact, she didn't even want to teach me at the time. I actually heard of the zombie bottle from another book called Lena Del Mira. So I heard about that on the internet from a book called Lena Del Mira, yeah. Then I asked Mama Midnight how to do it. And for a long time, because this is a long time ago now, we're talking about 2014, 2015 ago now. This is that long ago when I first learned it. I was very, very young in the occult. And due to my mental health and stuff like that, there were certain things that she didn't want to expose me to too quickly. It was only when the witch wars happened, when she actually started teaching me the major things such as zombie bottles, for example. Yeah? So, Dimitri didn't channel zombie bottles. He doesn't know how to do them. His experiment wasn't channeled. It was a suggestion using Slavic wolf teeth, zombie bottle type thing. He bought the ingredients, I performed the work, and I sold the work. Regular zombie bottles, they're on offer now. So the Slavic one, out the window. Regular zombie bottles, they're on offer. Hit me up in my inbox for them. Depending on like the size of the bottle and stuff like that, and all sorts of stuff like that, and the aesthetics, depends on the cost. But usually a bog standard one, you're looking about £250. Okay, so I'm Papa Smoke. This has been Zombies. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. You ain't the right lot. Dimitri, stop taking credit for my work, you little worm. Fuck yourself. Go back to your swamp skank.